solving radical equations in Algebra 2. So now we're going to start putting everything together and solving the actual equations, especially when we have a fraction exponent. And then if you look down the sheet, we're going to be dealing with it when we have our roots. So first thing we want to talk about is we have our things we want to look for up here. In order to get rid of our fraction exponent, you have to raise it to the reciprocal power. And to get rid of a root, you raise it to whatever power that root is. There are two more things that I want you to add, especially when dealing with fraction exponents. Right. So if we have something raised to a fraction exponent, and on the top is an even number, that means your answer should have a plus or minus sign. The bottom number doesn't really matter. It's if the top number in your fraction exponent is even, your answer should have plus or minus. Then the second thing that we have to talk about is you have to check all answers. Because sometimes when you plug them back in, it doesn't make sense. All right, so those are two things we need to add. Now let's start looking at examples. So number 1, x to the 1/2 equals 5. 1 is not an even number, so I do not need my plus or minus sign. So now I need to solve for x. Well, to get rid of a fraction exponent, I have to raise it to the reciprocal power. So raising this entire thing to the reciprocal of 1/2 would be to the 2/1. And this is a habit you want to get into. On the other side, you want to put this in parentheses. So then you raise it to the 2/1. Cancels out with your x, so you're left with x is equal to, well, 5 to the 2/1. 2/1 is just 2. So we're talking about 5 squared. If you weren't sure, you could go to your calculator. We could say 5, your caret button, 2 divided by 1, 25. So my answer is x equals 25. Before I put a box around it, I'm going to check. So when I plug that back in, I get 25 to the 1/2 power should equal 5. This is when I use my calculator. So parentheses 25 to the 1/2. Enter 5. So yes, my answer in this case is x equals 25. We're also going to see things like number 2, where our parentheses have two things in it. Now remember, since there's a minus sign, I can't distribute my exponent. So I need to raise it to the reciprocal power. So the reciprocal of 2/3 is just 3/2. I'm going to put 9 in parentheses and raise it to the 3/2 power. I'm first going to erase this part so I have room. All right, so again, I'm raising 9 also to the 3/2. Now remember, we started this, x was raised to an even number, so 2/3. That top number was even. So that means my final answer should have a plus or minus sign in it. All right, so backing up, x minus 4 to the 2/3. I raised that to the reciprocal, 3/2, which meant I raised 9 to the 3/2. So this left me with x minus 4 equals, what is 9 to the 3/2? This is when I use my calculator. So 9 to the 3/2 is 27. This is where we put our plus or minus. So x minus 4 equals plus or minus 27. This is how we create two problems, because it equals positive 27 and negative 27. So x minus 4 equals positive 27, x minus 4 equals negative 27. And then we just add 4. So we get x to equal 31 and x to equal negative 23. So again, before I put boxes, I need to check both of them. So parentheses, and then 31 minus 4 to the 2/3 power should equal 9. I'm just going to type it all into my calculator. Parentheses 31 minus 4, exponent 2/3 equals 9. So this one works, and I'm also going to check negative 23. So negative 23 minus 4 to the 2/3 power should equal 9. Then parentheses, negative 23 minus 4 to the 2/3 power should equal 9. It does. So in this case, I have two answers. X equals 31, and x can equal negative 23. Now for 3 and 4, we have our roots. So this should be a little bit of a review. We've done these before. Looking at number 3, I have the 4th root of x plus 4 minus 3 equals 4. First, I want to get that root sign by itself. So I'm going to start by adding 3. So now that leaves me with the 4th root of x plus 4 equals 7. Now if we look back at the top of our page, to get rid of a root, we're going to raise it to the root power. So what kind of a root am I taking? In this case, I'm taking a 4th root. So I'm going to raise both sides to the 4th power. So that just gets rid of our root, and we're left with x plus 4 equals, and again, we just use our calculator. What is 7 to the 4th power? 2,401. And then once we subtract 4, again, use your calculator. I'm going to subtract that by 4. 2,397. So x equals 2,397. We still have to check our answers. So I want to take the 4th root of 2,397 plus 4 and then minus 3. That should equal 4. And we haven't talked about this yet, so this is when you will want to follow along and actually try and do it on your calculator. We are taking a 4th root. So if you hit the math button, and you see option 5 has a little x. So we're going to go to option 5. Now, right now it has A and S. So I need to arrow over so I'm blinking on top of the A. And instead of A and S, I'm going to type in 4. So A and S should be gone. We now are taking a 4th root of, and then we just type it in. So 2,397 plus 4. Now be careful here. That's all that should be under our root. So we need to arrow out and then type in minus 3. Enter, and it equals 4. So I'm good. So my answer is x equals 2,397. Okay, and with number 4. Again, we need to get our root sign by itself, so it's 2 times the cube root. To get rid of that, we're going to divide. Now remember, our root is a barrier, so this only gets rid of the outside. So I'm still left with the cube root of 6x minus 4 equals 2. To get of a cube root, we're going to raise it to the third power. So I have 6x minus 4 equals, so I'm left with 6x minus 4 equals 2 to the third power is 8. Then from here, I just solve. So I would add 4, I would get 6x to equal 12, divide by 6, and get x to equal 2. Then my last step is to check. So I'm going to plug it into my original, which was 2 times the cube root of 6 times 2 minus 4 should equal 4. So I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to do 2, and then to find the cube root sign, we go math. That's option 4. So then we have 6 parentheses 2 minus 4. Enter. It equals 4. So I'm good, which means x does equal 2.